Hi, dear followers. We continue our podcast series, and today our guest, Adriani Nicolaou. Hi, Adriani.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us about your main activity, your education?
Yes, so I am 22 years old. I am from Greece, and right now I'm studying Athens at the University of Athens. I'm in my final year of law, and yeah, I am very, very excited to be here. I am also a peer educator at Understanding Europe Greece, which is a youth education organization under the Schwarzkopf Stiftung in Germany.
Mhm. I know that you has been in Armenia. So can you specify some unique places and unique foods in Armenia?
So
As
I was in Armenia last summer. One of my favorite places I visited was the ancient temple of Garni. I was very, very fascinated by how well the temple is constructed and still maintained until today. Also, the very, very beautiful mountains, the landscape around it, the nature. And I think I like many, many foods in Armenia, but the one I loved the most was gata, that sweet bread. Also, anytime my friends from Armenia come to Greece, I ask them to bring a gata to me. I really loved it, and I think it was the thing I ate in Armenia every day.
uh, you currently study law in university as future lawyer who specify in international law. What you can say about current situation in world, in your opinion, currently different countries respect international law and international law system at all?
I think that we live in a very, very crucial period when it comes to respecting international law because there's no thing as an international police, for example. When you commit a crime in your country, the police gets you, you get you get judged by a judge, and then you have to serve a specific sentence. But when it comes to relations and actions from states, it doesn't work like that because international law is enforced through state to state reciprocity. There are very specific legal systems and very specific international organizations who help uphold international law. So to ensure the enforcement of all international obligations and international law, there are no specific measures taken unless the Security Council decides to act, which is an organ from the United Nations. The Security Council usually acts through economic measures, which are called sanctions, or very rarely through military actions. However, usually it's up to the states and up to international courts to respect the international law. There is this thing called law of state responsibility, which means that it's up to the specific state to respect and uphold international law. And if the state doesn't do that, then they will be held accountable for any internationally wrongful actions they commit. The thing is that right now we are seeing many states not respect and not uphold international law and very, very little legal action taken, which is, I think, the what makes people lose trust in the international law system and international law and international organizations in general.
And continuing this topic, what you can say about the currently situations in Gaza?
I think that we are at a crossroads when it comes to the situation in Gaza because, as we saw these past few days, the hostages started being released back to Israel and back to Palestine. But was only the first step of peace. We see President of the USA, Donald Trump, taking very, very concrete action to try and end this dispute. However, there are many, many steps that need to be taken when it comes to finding a political solution, a state solution, what will happen with the disputed territory. So right now, I hope we can say that the humanitarian crisis has started, but there is still a lot that needs to be done politically and also a lot to be done to take care of those people in Palestine whose homes, whose country, whose territory has been destroyed completely. So it's more complicated, I think, than we can understand right now.
The most popular hardships on 21st century is air pollution. For instance, in Armenia, these issues is in very hard level. What you can say about Greece? For example, situation, yes, in case of air pollution.
I think that when constructing, modern towns and cities, we have not kept the human in mind. So humans, in order to be able to be healthy, to have good respiratory health and good health in general, they need to have a lot of fresh air, clean air, oxygen around them. However, when new towns are being constructed, they are being constructed on efficiency. So we see a lot of roads, we see a lot of transportation, but not many parks, not many green areas, not many green spaces. So I feel that we need to change the process of how we build our cities, of how we plan urban living spaces in order to prioritize the environment, prioritize nature, prioritize green air, green energy, green transportation. And for example, one way to do that is by investing more in public transportation, allow people to be transported with green vehicles, public means of transportation, use their own cars less, and at the same time create more parks, plant more trees, try to create more gardens and space of green inside cities to be able to provide a fresh breath of air and clean air. Because our issue is having a lot of pollution, as you said, which impacts us more than we think. It also impacts our lungs, our brain development, our children's brain development. So we need to start taking action now before the situation deteriorates even more.
Yes, and lawyers also should pay attention to this situation, as this is question of human rights. Greece and Armenia have different similarities also in case of relationship with Turkey. What you can say about this, about the relation between Armenia, Turkey and Greece in this region when we want to talk about this situation?
I think that the three countries have very, very tense relations. While Greece and Armenia, we are very tight. We are very close culturally. We are very close in religion. We also help each other a lot. For example, a lot of Armenian soldiers and a lot of Armenian personnel gets trained alongside Greek people. And it's an honor for us that we get to help you. We get to provide technical knowledge, military knowledge. We all know that the relations of these two countries with Turkey have been very, very tense for centuries now. And I won't say that Turkey is an aggressor. I will choose to view them as a country who try to expand and have more and more influence in the greater area. However, I think they're doing this with the wrong measures, with the wrong way. I think that having a good relationship with your neighboring countries is very, very crucial when it comes to development, when it comes to commerce, when it comes to taking care of migration issues. However, if Turkey doesn't allow Greece and Armenia to cooperate with them and have a good relations, then we can't also view them as a good partner, as a good neighbor. So right now, I think that both Greece and Armenia are very, very hesitant when it comes to trusting Turkey with everything because they have proven they cannot be trusted. They have proven they are not a good neighbor. They have proven they are not a good partner. So what we can do is strengthen our relations, for example, between Greece and Armenia and all of our neighbors, and try to keep a united front when it comes to our tensions with Turkey. In any case, something bad happens in the future, so we can be together in this.
As you participated in program in Yerevan State University, what you can say? Maybe educational system of our two countries have some similarities. You also now study in university in Greece, and you participated in program in Yerevan State University.
Yes, exactly. So last summer I was in Yere, which is a model United Nations that takes place every summer in Armenia. It is a lovely event. It helps students from all around the Caucasus region and all around the world to come to contact with the world of the United Nations to see how the communities of the United Nations work, get a lot closer with people from other countries and enrich their cultural bonds. And what I viewed while participating in Yeremun is that young people from all around the world, especially from Armenia, they care a lot about broadening their horizons. They care a lot about getting a more round education. They care a lot about making their CV broader and adding more qualifications, which is also something that happens in Greece. I also remember that young people in Armenia tend to get a higher level of education. They want to get their bachelor's degree, master's degree. And I think that is very, very bright for the future of Armenia, also for the future in Greece, because also Greek people tend to go to university, a bachelor's, master's, even maybe a second master's degree, in order to be able to support themselves, support the country, be better for themselves and the country as well. So I think that when it comes to our educational approach and our goals in our education, we are very, very similar.
During our podcast, we usually talk about what youth want to do during their life, what they want to change. So maybe you have some plans. What do you want to change in future, for example, especially in your sphere?
I think that in Greece, people have started losing a lot of trust when it comes to politics, both internal and international, when it comes to the rule of law, because someone can say, also according to official data by Eurostat or Greek data, that we have a very high level of corruption in Greece, which is unfortunately something very, very common both in the Greater Balkan area and the Greater Caucasus area. So while this sounds very cliche, I think that I would like to participate in policymaking and try to make an actual change on how things function in an internal level, in public policymaking, in public fund regulation, in order to make sure that public planning is actually beneficial for the Greek people and is made for the Greek people. There is no one internally taking advantage of funds, for example, that are meant for the people. There has also been a very, very big scandal in Greece lately where millions of European funds have been used for wrong reasons. So this has made people trust the government and, policymakers even less. So I think that even if I make a tiny, tiny dent in how people view the government and the policymakers as corrupt, and I make even the tiniest change on them viewing them as a bit less corrupt, and they understand that there is someone in there who tries to help them, I think that I will have succeeded in my life.
And maybe you have some special things which you want to change in your city or in your country. For instance, in Armenia, I want to change our municipality management as everything, every institution, everything, every organization controlled in capital, and it is very bad situation for citizens of capital. So maybe you have some things which you want to change in your city or in your country.
I think that my hometown, because I'm not originally from Athens, I'm from a small city called Trikala. In my hometown, things move quite efficiently because we have had a series of very, very good mayors who took a lot of care of the city and its people. I think that I would like to see the same level of efficiency and hearing out the people in a whole Greek level, meaning that when we try to do with infrastructure, do it faster, make it more efficient, do it for the people. For example, right now in Athens, there is a new subway line constructed. It will be completed in 10 years. So from starting a new subway line, it will take 10 years, while in other countries of the world, such infrastructure can be done much, much quicker. And while I know that we don't have the technical infrastructure and the knowledge to do it, for example, in 1 or 2 years, such as China, I know that we can do it faster in order to also make people's lives faster and more efficient and better, especially in big cities. So I would say efficiency and being faster in decision making and decision execution.
And in conclusion of our talk, I also want to know your opinion about current democracy. As you know, Greece gives democracy this word. And what your opinion currently countries and authorities of different countries respect democratic values?
I think that especially when it comes to countries who want to be part of the Western world and want to, be seen as modern, and countries who take care of their citizens, there is no better way of ruling things than being democratic. Having a democratically elected government, doing elections who are safe and not corrupt, viewing the needs of the people as your priority. I think there's nothing more important than that, because democracy is the way to go. We have seen through thousands of years of history, the best way for a society to thrive is to be democratic, to have a democratic government, take care of everyone's needs. However, in order to do that, you need to also have people, have citizens who respect democracy and democratic values. If you don't have citizens who respect freedom of speech, if they don't respect the freedom to move around, to respect each other, then you can't have a full democracy. So a democracy doesn't just start from the government and the politicians, it also starts from the people. At the same time, the politicians need to understand that the priority is not themselves, it's their people. They have been elected to take care and protect their people and do the best they can for them. So unless also the rulers, the elected governments, the heads of states, realize that it's not just their personal interests that are taken care of, it's mostly the interest of their people, then we can also have democracy. As I said before, a very, very big issue in the Balkan area, in the Caucasus region, and in other areas of the world as well, is corruption. So unless we tackle corruption at its root, then we can't even start talking about democracy. After we tackle corruption, then we can start dissecting the different pieces of democracy, for example, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of religion, education, and start taking care and respecting each one of them. But until we get rid of corruption and have rulers and governments and head of states who actually want to rule correctly, not corruptly, then we can't talk about having a democracy.
I agree with everything which you said. Thank you for your participation, Adriani.
Thank you so much.